Hi everyone, I am Tertiary from the Java Institute for Advanced Technology in Sri Lanka. Welcome to this exciting new video series where I will be diving into the development of an e-commerce web application. Throughout this series, I'll guide you step by step, demonstrating how to create this application from design to the backend process, all by explaining the intricacies. In our inaugural video, I'll walk you through the process of designing a responsive user sign-in and sign-up page using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. For the design aspects, we'll leverage the Bootstrap CSS framework to ensure our web page is not only visually appealing, but also responsive. Additionally, please note that for the backend process, we'll be using PHP. And you will need exam software to view the web page locally. But before we jump into today's lesson, let's take a moment to understand what an e-commerce application is and explore its uses. This foundation will provide context for the lesson to come. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. Stay tuned as we embark on this journey of creating a fully functional e-commerce web application together. What defines an e-commerce application? Simply put, it's a website that facilitates the buying and selling of physical goods, services, and digital products over the internet rather than at a physical location. In today's world, there are numerous well-known e-commerce applications like Amazon, eBay, and AliExpress. Now, you might be wondering why I refer to them as e-commerce web applications instead of websites. That's because there's a distinction between a website and a web application. A website is a collection of web pages accessed through a web browser and hosted on a web server. On the other hand, a web application is a software program accessed through a web browser and runs on a web server. Okay, let's delve into some of the key advantages of incorporating e-commerce applications into our businesses. Number 1. Global market reach. E-commerce applications empower businesses to reach a global audience, breaking through local boundaries and tapping into a larger market. Number 2. Increased revenue potential. With an online presence, business can operate 24/7. Reaching customers at any time. This continual availability can lead to increased sales and revenue, especially when catering to diverse time zones. Cost effectiveness. E-commerce applications can be more cost effective than maintaining a physical stores, reducing the need for extensive brick-and-mortar infrastructure and lowering operational and overhead costs. Number 4. Data-driven decision-making. E-commerce platforms provide valuable data and analytics, offering insights into customer behavior, preferences, and trends. This data-driven approach helps businesses make informed decisions and optimize strategies for better results. Number 5. Customer convenience. E-commerce applications enhance customer convenience by enabling them to browse, compare, and purchase products or services from the comfort of their homes. These improved customer experience foster loyalty and positive reviews, ultimately benefiting the businesses. In summary, e-commerce applications are powerful tools that not only facilitate online transactions but also open up new possibilities for businesses in terms of global reach, revenue generation, cost efficiency, data-driven insights, and enhanced customer experiences. So guys, I hope you now have a clear idea of what we are set to build. Let's dive into today's lesson. We will be designing the user sign up and sign in pages. Okay guys, as our initial step, let's create a folder for our web application. Navigate to the C drive, find the exam folder, open it and within locate the htdocs folder. Create a new folder here. I name mine as Eshop, but feel free to choose any name as you prefer. For coding purposes, I am using Visual Studio Code, which you can download from the link in the description. Open Visual Studio Code, select open folder and pick the folder we just created in the exam directory. If you forgot the path, you can find it displayed on the screen. Okay, now that we've chosen our folder, the next step is to create our files within it. Click on the new file icon. You will see a file created. So let's rename it to index.php. Using the same method, create two more files, style.css and script.js. You might be wondering why we are creating these files. Well, we need them to program our application. As mentioned earlier, we are using HTML, CSS and JavaScript to design this web page. And having a separate files allow us to organize and write our code efficiently. Now, let's add the necessary resources and fonts to our project folder, which we'll use in this design. I've already downloaded the fonts and images, so I'm going to use HoneyScript and Quick Sans fonts to my design. So I'll include those folders in our project. Additionally, since we are using Bootstrap as our CSS framework, we need to download the bootstrap.css file and add it to our project folder. To get Bootstrap, I visited the Bootstrap page and download the bootstrap.css file. It's a straightforward process and I'll provide the download link in the description. I'm simply dragging the downloaded bootstrap.css file into my project folder. Okay, now it's essential to run exam software to view our page. Open exam as shown and click start on the Apache server. Great, now it's time to start our coding journey. Alright, let's dive into the coding part. Our first step is to set up the HTML structure. I'll begin by specifying the HTML version, adding the HTML tag, followed by the head tag, and then the body tag. Now, to kick things off, we need to give our web application a title, essentially our website name. I am using the title tag and setting the name as Eshop. Next, we have to link our Bootstrap and CSS files. Here's how you do it. Additionally, I'll include the code to add an icon that appears inside the browser tab. All of these codes must be written inside the head tag. Now, let's focus on the code in our sign in and sign up pages. I've already created a sketch for this and I'll be designing according to that. So, just a quick reminder, when designing a website or web application, it's a good practice to sketch it out first. It makes the design process much more organized and straightforward. Okay guys, now let's get into the actual code. This part of the process involves substantial number of code lines, and it would be challenging to explain in each tag and line in detail. However, I'll highlight the key aspects of the design to give you an understanding. If you are interested in learning more about these code lines, I'll consider creating a video series in the future. Now, let's start to code inside the body tag. I'll begin by adding a div tag and applying Bootstrap classes to it. For those interested in Bootstrap classes, you can visit their website and refer to their documentation. Okay, I'll touch on the responsive part while coding. The responsive web design is a modern approach that allows website to display on any device or screen size. Bootstrap provides class to make website or applications responsive effortlessly. However, before working with Bootstrap, we need to add meta taglines like this. Bootstrap's responsive processes small rows and columns, where each row is divided into 12 columns, making it easy to manage components throughout the web page. As you can see, I am designing my sign-in page step by step using rows and columns. Bootstrap makes it incredibly easy. To simplify my design, I divided into few parts: the logo, area and welcome caption from the header, and while the rest constitute the content, and the last part is footer. I will just complete the header part of my design, so let's take a moment to view it. To view our web page, open a browser and browse localhost/your project folder name. So I am browsing localhost/Eshop. You can use site name instead of Eshop. Okay, now you can see my welcome note appears along with the logo in the tab and the title set as recorded. Okay, now let's return to Visual Studio Code and continue our design. I need to add the logo, so I am using my own CSS. For that, I am open the style.css file and start writing code in here. CSS, a language used to describe how elements in a document should be displayed on a screen, paper or other media. Essentially, we use it to style our web page. As I mentioned before, I won't describe every line in the design session, as our focus will be on the backend part in this video series. I'll proceed with the design part a bit faster. If you need this design, I'll provide the link in the description. Okay, I added the font file into my project folder and now we need to import them through CSS. For that, I coded it like this and mentioning to use Quicksand font as our main font in the project. Now I have finished with the sign up box. It's time to build the sign in box. I've designed both boxes on the same page and I'll show you how to toggle between them using Bootstrap classes. In this case, I am using the dNone class to show or hide sign up and sign in boxes. Once we started the backend part, you can easily change the class through JavaScript. Okay, I have completed the sign up box and now I need to add copyright text in the footer of my page. For that, I use this command. Okay, now it's complete. You can see the sign up and sign in design. Let's talk about how to program the backend process in the next video. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's check if it's responsive or not. Here I check it and you can see it's totally responsive. I hope you got some idea about the designing part, so you can design even more creatively and then you can join me in the next video to work on the backend process. I'll catch you all in the next video. Until then, goodbye everyone.